Now, the debate over decriminalising judges continued in the papers this weekend. Writing in The Observer, former Chief Constable Tom Lloyd has argued that the current system doesn't work. Now, what he says is that dealers are let out too easily. They just deal again, while men and women who are arrested for little more than, let's call it, youthful experimentation can have their lives affected and tainted by criminal records and what have you. So what do we think? He's saying maybe we should pull back a bit and offer treatment rather than necessarily sending people to prison. Do you think we need to change the way that we look at drugs and drug prosecution?
Oh, well, I mean, he's right, isn't he? It really isn't working. And I think either they have got to completely decriminalise it, or they've got to recriminalise it, because the way I see it at the moment is just that there doesn't seem to be any law against it. I mean, I know that drugs are illegal, but it just seems to be so normal in society now. I mean, they're everywhere, you know, and you get these, you know, kids do try things out and they're saying, oh, you know, we need to offer them help as opposed to, you know, a sentence. And I know it's not helpful to give young people criminal records at such a young age just for experimentation, but the fact is, if something is against the law, then the law's got to be upheld. And it isn't. You know, I know loads of people, I could direct the police to loads of places where I know there are loads of drugs. I don't take them, but you know it goes on, and everybody knows it goes on. It's like it's become normal life. So you've either got to do it that way or you've got to do it that way. And I think we have become really soft on drugs. So
can I sorry, Lisa, just to say, so do you then say we recriminalise it, which I think is quite a good way to put it, bang people in prison who maybe it's their first offence or what have you, then they're mixing with serial criminals. Surely, you know, there are mums out there who'd say, oh, but he's only just tried it for the first time. Why should he be treated as a... Well,
I understand that.
That's exactly what I think. I think that I don't for any second think that we should decriminalise drug use, because if there's a rule, I mean, the dealers will bend that rule and they'll be caught with drugs on them and they'll say it's just for personal use, I'm not dealing it. So that might help their case. So I don't think we should go as far as to decriminalise drug use. I am concerned that if, you know, any one of our kids, for example, is in their teens and they're experimenting and then the maximum penalty, I think, is 7 years.
But there wouldn't be experimenting if it wasn't so widely available and so, you know, so normalised.
It is widely available, and it's tragic that it's widely available. And I think the important point here is it should be at the police's discretion. I know there's a lot of people who go, oh, the police, well, you know, can they, you know, have issues with that? But I think it should be at the police's discretion, because there are certain children, for example, teenagers, that would be petrified if their parents found out. And that sometimes is enough for certain kids to teach them a lesson. Some kids, if you were to offer them support and rehabilitation and help them, they need that because their parents don't care. Some kids' parents provide them with drugs. So you need to look at it in a case-by-case basis, and I think it's at the discretion of the police. The police can tell if a kid has got good parents and they're from a good family.
So hang on a minute. Hold on, Lynda, wait. Hang on. No, Lynda, wait. The bottom line is... No, the bottom line is, it's illegal. And when it comes to a situation like that, surely it's not down to whether, oh, well, you'll be all right because you've got good parents, we won't lock you up. But you've got really nasty parents. You've got really nasty parents, so actually we're going to bung you in prison. What about...
But nothing is that black and white. We're human beings, we have feelings and we're sensitive to people. You can't go, it's illegal. I caught this 16-year-old has got a gram of cocaine on her. Bung her in jail for 7 years.
But at the end of it...
But you can't offer then... You can't say, oh, well, you can either have treatment and advice or you can have a sentence. Like, who's going to go, oh, yeah, I'd rather go to prison for 5 years.
No, best case scenario is
then they have that, they come out again and they do it again. You've either got to know it's right or wrong in the first place. You know, if you do have really harsh sentences like they do in other countries, where they do still have the death penalty for drugs, whatever amount and whatever you do. No, just hang on a second. But people tend not to try it because they know if they get caught, that's it. You know, there's going to be no mercy.
Some people find themselves doing it because they don't have any choice. Some people don't have any good mentors or good role models, and maybe a bit of support could be all the difference, or make the difference for them.
Later on, But the first is, it's against the law. What's happened to that is against the law.
Yeah.
I think
Don't
drinking should be
do
against
it.
the law. I think drinking, because I think alcohol actually weakens your judgment. I think a lot of people wouldn't even experiment with drugs or try drugs if they hadn't had a drink first.
But that's another thing, you know, a child can go in under 16 or whatever and buy a drink. The same thing. The police should be out there now going on and on and on in the areas where they sell drugs. On and on. The government go on and on at kids about not smoking. They go on about obesity. They should be going on and on about drugs. On and on and on and on and on.
But their hands are tied, aren't they?
They've got to do it
because the justice system doesn't work. You know, people don't get proper sentences anymore, and if you do get caught with a small amount on you, it's only for personal use. Go on your way. And also, that's not making it acceptable and normal and almost decriminalising it.
Exactly. Nobody's ashamed anymore. I mean, it's like you said as well about, you know, there's some parents, some kids that it would be enough if their parents found out. It's become cool and trendy, and it's not. You should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway, if you was